Section number 11, A Book of Fairy Tale Bears. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Linda Marie Nielsen, Vancouver, BC. A Book of Fairy Tale Bears by Clifton Johnson. The Bear in the Forest Pitfall. Once upon a time there was a man who lived far, far away in the forest where he had many goats and sheep. But his flock suffered greatly from Graylegs, the wolf, and at last the man said, "I must trap this thieving Graylegs." So one winter day he went to work digging a large square pitfall, and when he made the hole deep enough, he set up a pole in the middle, and on the top of the pole fastened a board, and on the board he put a little dog. Over the pit itself he spread boughs and twigs and leaves, and on this covering strewed snow, so that Graylegs might not suspect there was a pit underneath. When the man finished these arrangements he went home. By and by night came, and the little dog grew weary of sitting there, and began to bark at the moon. "Bow wow, bow wow," he said. Soon a fox came slouching and sneaking along. He saw the little dog and thought that here was a fine chance for getting something to eat, so he gave a jump and went head over heels down into the pit. That frightened into silence the dog on the board at the top of the pole. Later in the night the little dog got so weary and so hungry that he resumed his yelping and howling. "Bow wow, bow wow," he cried. His barking presently attracted Graylegs, who came trotting to the spot, and was rejoiced to find a good meal ready for him. He leaped forward to seize the dog, and went head over heels into the pit. The dog was again terrified into silence, but toward dawn the wind began to blow, and the air grew so cold that the little dog shivered and shook, and he barked with all his might for help. "Bow wow, bow wow, bow wow." His yelping was heard by a bear who was tramping not far away, thinking how he could get a morsel for breakfast. "Well," he said, as he came to where he could see the dog, "here is my breakfast waiting for me." He hurried forward to seize the dog, and down he went with a crash and a bump through the concealing boughs and twigs head over heels into the pit. The dog stopped howling, but for only a little while. He was so very chilly and weary and hungry. At length the sun rose and sent its rays glinting down into the snowy forest. Then came an old woman walking along through the wood. She was a beggar who toddled from farm to farm with a bag on her back. As soon as she heard the dog she was curious to learn what he was doing there in the woodland and why he barked in such distress. When she drew near she saw that he had been put there to lure some of the wild forest creatures into a pit, and she wondered if any beasts had been trapped during the night. A few paces from the edge of the pit she got down on her hands and knees and crept cautiously forward and peeped down into it. "Here you are trapped at last, Reynard," she said to the fox, who was the first of the captives that she saw. "This is a very good place for such a hen-roost robber as you are." Then she observed the wolf and said, "Yes, and for you also, Graylegs. Many a goat and sheep have you caught and killed. Now you will receive your just punishment. Bless my heart! Are you here too, Bruin? You horse slayer! This very day you shall die, and that shaggy skin of yours will be nailed up on the wall to dry." All this the old woman screeched out as she bent low at the edge of the pit, looking down into the gloom. But just as she finished her remarks, the bag on her back slipped forward over her head with a jerk that carried her with it down into the pit. So now there were 4 in the pit, and they each sat in a corner and glared at one another. Presently Reynard began to twist and turn and peer about, trying to discover some way to get out. "Sit still, you whirligig thief!" the old woman cried. "Do as Bruin does. There he sits as grave as a judge." She thought the bear's friendship was worth cultivating under the circumstances, and she hoped her compliment would win his favor. But now the man arrived who owned the pitfall. First he drew up the old woman, and afterward he slew the 3 beasts. So he was troubled no more by Reynard or Greylegs or Bruin, and his flocks throve much better than ever before. End of section 11. Recording by Linda Marie Nielsen, Vancouver, BC.